Good morning, wrestling fans, and welcome to an exciting and on-location episode of PWR Today. Matthew Thomas here joining you in the lovely, comfortable, climate-controlled PWR Today studios, talking to the man they call Meathead on location after an exciting episode of AEW Dynamite. The man they call Meathead and Linda Kay in the building. Meathead, how are you feeling after that wonderful evening of professional wrestling?
Tremendous. Sorry, that was my Linda impression. It was terrible. No, you know what? I'm tremendous. I still have some voice left. We had Dynamite. We had Rampage tapings. We also had Dark, too. And, I love watching Dark specifically. I love getting there early to see some of the local boys, some GLCW talents on AEW TV.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with AEW. You go to an AEW event, you get your money's worth, man. How much wrestling did you watch last night?
I think the matches started at 6, and they did an hour of Dark, and then we watched 2 hours of Dynamite and 1 hour of Rampage. And I think just now, Moxley and Tanahashi just left the ring.
Well, that's how you got to go home on a go-home show. You got to make sure that they, are peering into each other's eyes, and you got to really get you got to get people to press that buy button come Sunday. So that was the job of the show last night. And Meathead, I got a question for you. You're at a wrestling show. Did you see anybody donning any wrestling garb last night?
Well, there was a lot of it, and yours truly had to have his Festus face on as well. So I had me some collar and elbow. And if you want the latest and greatest in streetwear wrestling fashion, head on over to collarandelbowbrand.com. Now, they've got this thing. It's a loser leaves town, and it's a good brother summer. So if you use, what was the promo again, Matthew?
So if you want both of them, and I don't know why you would not want both of them, you enter promo code QUICK20. That saves you a nice, cool 20% off. Now,
nice.
maybe you're kind of partial to one. I know I'm kind of leaning towards the whole loser leaves town. And so if I don't want to necessarily go and grab both of them, you can enter promo code HOOT, HOOT.
Or Linda Kay.
Or Linda Kay, that's right. I want Meathead. I wonder what happens if you enter Linda Kay Hoot or Hoot Linda Kay.
I'm not going to enter Linda Kay at all. Again, I'm a married man, but I am going to enter Linda Kay in the promo code slot and get 10% if I'm getting one. But why wouldn't you get two? And then enter Quick Draw or Quick 20. That's Quick 20 at collarandelbowbrand.com.
Collar and Elbow with a lot of drops recently. In the last couple of weeks, we have gotten multiple new releases. So they are putting out some product this summer. AEW was in the market. It is a good brother summer, and it was a good night to catch an AEW show. Last night, you guys got to see the show open with some music you haven't heard in a little while. Bryan Danielson coming out at Meathead and clearing some things up. We had not seen him in several weeks. He announced that, unfortunately, he's not been cleared for Forbidden Door. Neither is he cleared for Blood and Guts. And the plan was to have Bryan Danielson going up against Zack Sabre Jr. Not going to happen. However, he did say that he has been called. What did Kingston call him? He called him a prick of some sort, right?
I believe it was some sort of penile reference.
Yes. It was like flaccid. He called somebody a flaccid cocksman, didn't he?
Cocksmith, yes. Something like that.
Yes, I think it was Jericho that he referred to as the flaccid cocksmith.
And when you get hurt down there in your cockles, that's also a deep place inside of you as well.
That being said, he did say that he has been called a judgmental prick, and what that means is he has very high standards, and his replacement is going to be someone of an excellent caliber that he feels will do a worthy job taking his spot. However, he did reiterate he came out of the bad guy tunnel. So is he going to tell you? Nope, you've got to buy the pay-per-view to find out. Meathead, first time we've seen Bryan Danielson on the air in a while. This on TV at least came across as a pretty impassioned promo and a good way to start the show. Did it feel the same way in the arena?
Absolutely. And let me put this out there. I kind of said this to, Linda Kay. I said, these guys get hurt in AEW. I wonder, this is just me thinking out loud, being a wrestling fan, pro wrestling, because he said it about 4 times, and a sports entertainment fan. If he wrestled more of a sports entertainment style, maybe he wouldn't be hurt as much.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Bryan Danielson's work rate in AEW, especially when he first came into the company, and he followed Punk by a month or two. I mean, it was right around the same time that Punk came in. And you've got Punk that when he wrestles, it's pretty special versus Danielson that was going out there. I mean, I think some weeks he was going out there on Dynamite and Rampage. I mean, Danielson working a ton, and it's like, I'm happy the guy is able to work and he's healthy again, but my goodness, don't overdo it. And unfortunately, this can be what happens. So I think everybody's excited to see him, return as quickly as possible. Meathead, is this going to be somebody that we know on Sunday, or is it going to be somebody that we're kind of scratching our head over?
It's probably going to be a scratching our head over, but the easy surprise answer would be the cleaner, Kenny Omega.
Yeah. That's a very, very valid point, and that would kind of check both of those boxes. It would be a surprise, and it would be somebody your AEW contingency is familiar with. You know what? He did make the point that he came out of the bad guy tunnel, so it would not hurt my feelings at all if it was somebody you don't necessarily associate with being the greatest technical wrestler in the world. You know what, Meathead? If Bryan Danielson really wants to turn heel, give us Ryback on Sunday.
Please don't.
Can you imagine the heat from the Forbidden Door crowd?
Oh my God, they would boo him out of the building.
Meathead, the first actual match that we saw on TV last night was going to be some trios action. Roppongi Vice and Orange Cassidy going up against Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. Now, I know we haven't seen much Ospreay or Aussie Open on AEW TV. Thought this was a really solid trios match, man. I mean, this was action-packed, and although I don't necessarily have the familiar with Ospreay and Aussie Open, I was entertained here, and I'm always entertained by one guy who is able to finish a match and get a victory with an orange punch. Meathead, how did this go down in the building?
It went great. He added a new move into his repertoire. It was the slow motion clothesline, where everybody else kept doing their moves, and he's slowly making his way to the corner, to the turnbuckle. The slow motion clothesline was absolutely tremendous.
We talked about it early on in AEW, the start of AEW, as far as Cassidy's style and, how long is he going to keep this gimmick up? I realized last night, I think we're at a point where the presentation and the character is either we've gotten used to it or it's believable in the psychology context, because we see enough of him kind of baiting people in, with his normal Orange Cassidy stuff, his kicks, his super slow-mo stuff. But when they bite, that's when he gets quick. I know it's been a gradual progress over the last several years, but I feel like that, we've gotten there where you can take Cassidy and put him up against a Will Ospreay and get a solid match out of it. So interesting to see how those two styles clash.
I'd say both. Both we've gotten used to it, and it's to the point where it doesn't bother us anymore.
Yeah.
I think that he's added enough, and the psychology's there. I enjoy Orange Cassidy.
Something else I want to add here too, the FTR pop at the end of this, where Roppongi Vice and Cassidy were getting the beat down. It took me a second to recognize the music, because here's the thing, the pop was so loud. I'm like,
right.
Who is that? Who is this coming back? What music is that? I don't recognize. Oh my goodness, it's FTR. And the audience is just that happy to see them. Did it sound like that in the arena?
It sounded like that. And to be honest, watch Rampage as well. Milwaukee loves them some FTR.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, somebody that Milwaukee ended up not loving by the end of his promo last night.
See what I did there for you? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it just even on location, the synergy just works. Meathead, it fits like a glove.
Like a glove. All right, continue.
I got to say, for one, I'm happy to see heel Christian Cage back. I feel like he'd just been kind of on the sidelines for a while. He was the coach of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, just kind of hanging out. And as a prolific talent as you have right there, I felt like they could have been doing something different. And they decided to go that route last week with the Christian Cage heel turn. He announced that he's doing he did a little background check on Jungle Boy, which is, always a good thing if you're bringing a new employee in or, looking to vet somebody to, get a little background check and kind of, turn down any dark corners perhaps they've had in their life. So, Christian Cage going the background check route with Jungle Boy. I got to say, Meathead, one of my favorite segments of the night happened right here when the crowd turns on Christian Cage and they were telling him to be quiet, but not in those certain terms. And you look and I got to say this, when you go back and you watch the show last night, Meathead, there were a lot of kind of spontaneous camera cuts and not always needed. I mean, you would cut a lot of times to somebody looking at their phone or looking the other way. It was a little bit odd kind of what they were doing with some of the camera angles, but right as soon as the chants start, you get to see a 7 or 8-year-old little boy say, "Shut the fuck up."
Wow. Mm-hmm. Language. That's not my child. That's for sure.
They would have much, much better manners than that. But Christian Cage making it known he did not come to elevate younger talent. He came to make a ton of money. I thought it was a great heel promo. Then he went uber heel here. This sounded like nuclear heat on the TV. I don't know if it sounded as bad in the arena, but he starts referencing Jungle Boy's father. And this is after he's talking about, you saw a segment last week of Jungle Boy's sister and mother after the Christian Cage heel turn. He makes a reference that, maybe Jungle Boy's mother wishes that Christian Cage was his father. I'm sorry, not the case, because Jungle Boy, your father is dead. The audience did not seem to appreciate this.
Because we know who his dad is. Yeah.
It's felt a little uncomfortable. It's what they were going for. This would bring in Luchasaurus to start choking Christian. However, Christian's able to get enough air and put the mic up to his face and say, "Hey, we need to talk about this away from everybody else. And remember what happened to Marco." So apparently a little more to the relationship between Luchasaurus and Christian Cage than meets the eye. Here's my take on this, Meathead. We've got a heel Christian Cage. We've got Jungle Boy as a singles competitor now, most likely.
You've been banging the drum for that for a long time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I think Jungle Boy is a star. I think he is potentially one of your pillars of AEW, but you've needed to break it up from this tag team. And honestly, I think what we need in all of this, we need Christian Cage to do an expose on Luchasaurus, because I don't think he's really a dinosaur.
Possibly. But let me ask you this. Again, not having seen the show played back yet and not being able to see this live, where did the cameras cut with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus?
It pretty much stayed with them. I mean, you saw them get out of the ring. You saw a smile from Christian Cage. As Luchasaurus is walking out, you saw kind of a wicked smile, and I think that was the end of the segment.
No, well, here's what you missed, folks. Exclusive, live from the UW Panther Arena. Luchasaurus about to head down the face tunnel, and Christian goes, no, my friend.
Ooh.
Come down this tunnel.
Oh, my goodness.
So 2 references to the bad guy tunnel.
Oh, my goodness. Interesting. The things that you see in the arena. Let me just go back to the very start of the show, because I was watching it a little bit closer tonight, knowing that I had colleagues there in the arena, and as many Raws as we've covered, as many Dynamites as we covered, I don't know that you and I, or Linda and I, or you and Linda have ever talked about this. One small thing from the opening of Dynamite that I much prefer to Raw, we do not have the token "Welcome to Dynamite" like we have "Welcome to Monday Night Raw." WWE, I don't know when it started, Meathead, but this whole whoever comes down, heel or face with the intro welcome like a game show host. No, that doesn't work in my professional
Like they're doing
wrestling.
PWR today. Good morning and welcome. Exactly.
Exactly. You know what? Just because you said that now, maybe I don't do welcome. Maybe this is the last time I welcome anybody to this show. Maybe we just go right in.
Fair
And
enough.
speaking of
You're
going
right.
in,
Yeah.
you know what? You guys went in all into the All Atlantic tournament last night with, I believe it was the last first round match between Malachi Black and Pento Asoro. And you know what?
And who came out with Penta? It was Matthew Thomas's man to watch in 2022. What is his name? Alex.
Alex. So Alex is my main
QBC, right?
He is my QBC host to watch in 2022. Now, here's the thing. I got to walk that back a little bit. I don't think he broadly works for QBC. I think he works for the HP wing of QBC. So, I think QVC and HP are heavily connected. So, if you got anybody you need to hawk your computer wares, whether it be a desktop or a laptop or a printer or a scanner or a mouse or whatever kind of computer hardware you need, Alex is he's your guy.
Alex QVC, that's his name.
So let me ask you this. Did you get scared when the lights went down? Because I've never seen a House of Black entrance in person. It scares me on TV. Did it scare you in person?
Not at all. I had people surrounding me. I had security. Matthew, let me sidetrack off of this real quick here. We've talked about this before where, you're probably your best get in and get out experience of an arena was at WrestleMania in Cowboy Stadium,
Dallas.
Stadium. Yep. I got to tell you that my experience last night at the Mecca Arena was probably a very close second, if not number one. We were sitting right next to concessions. We walked right in. Our seats were right by the entrance. So, no, if I would have been scared, I could have went right down the aisle. It would have been okay.
Well, fantastic. That's great to hear. And, I'm going to sidetrack even further because I know we've talked about great arena experiences. So my second best from Cowboy Stadium, although it was a little bit scary and there was some anxiety involved, was when I was leaving the North Charleston Coliseum in probably 2013 or so. And I had driven all day. I had driven from Virginia directly to the Coliseum. I was living in South Carolina at the time, and I realized I'm in this exit line and I'm about to run out of gas. And thankfully, the cars are moving at a pretty decent little clip. So what do? I whip myself into the nearest filling station so I don't run out of gas. And you know who whips himself right beside me and hops out of his rental car? None other than Cody Rhodes. So Matthew Thomas and Cody Rhodes pumping gas at the same time. And I walk between the pumps and I say, hey, Cody, you guys did a great job. I enjoyed that show. And I gave him a nice firm handshake. And he said, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Well, at least you weren't in New Jersey and had to have somebody else pump your gas.
What's the other state? Isn't there another state where it's like the law?
There's another one. For one of our longtime listeners, Rob from New Jersey, I hope you're still listening. We love you, brother. But New Jersey and somewhere else, you gotta have an attendant pump it for you.
My goodness. So it's technically it's not self-serve, it's attendant pumping is what it is. Well, you know what? Somebody that did a great service to the great city of Milwaukee last night was a hometown boy. We had Hangman there. Hangman, of course, is from my neck of the woods, not yours, but your hometown boy, Silas Young, making an appearance.
Wow. I gotta be honest, if I'm giving you like my best experience from last night's show, is seeing the Sicilian, the Screaming Sicilian spokesperson, Silas Young, Milwaukee-born, Milwaukee-bred, former Ring of Honor talent as well, and technically still a Ring of Honor talent. But I believe, now I don't have to be corrected by the Blizzard Brawl historians, I believe Silas Young may have been on one of the first couple of Blizzard Brawls as well.
And I got to tell you, the Screaming Sicilians, no joke, man. That's about one of the better frozen pizzas one can purchase.
It's the mustache pizza. The only problem I ever had with that commercial, folks, go ahead and Google /YouTube, whatever, Screaming Sicilian Silas Young. and go see the commercial. Why did they beat up that boss, the big oversized sub sandwich? It was disrespectful, but then he's got the screaming Sicilian. All right, go ahead. Yes.
Right.
Matthew, let me add this in real quick. Adam Page is a face, right? We're supposed to cheer him?
Right now we are.
I'm confused. How, whoever booked this, Tony or whoever's in charge of the booking, how do you expect the city of Milwaukee, who absolutely loves and adores Silas Young, to cheer for Adam Page when Silas Young is making his AEW debut? He's been in the city of Milwaukee for how many years? Again, the guy's the last real man. We can't cheer for Adam Page.
He looked very manly. I'll give him that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how it came off on TV, but Adam Page could not have come off as a total face on this.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't sound negative for Page, but it sounded like he got a nice reception. Now, if you go back and you listen to commentary, you know, they did, I mean, reference the hometown, but more of the story was Page and Young's history. So that was kind of the story that they were trying to set. But I do think it was a bit of a shortcoming here by AEW because, you know, either you don't care about the dynamics or you're banking on the fact that your hometown audience is not going to care about him, but is going to care about all the New Japan talent.
Silas Young. Yes.
Yeah. So
Silas Young is a South Side of Milwaukee kind of guy. So, I mean, you know, and to be completely honest, I mean, if we're talking about it, you know, you could have threw out Silas Young there. What if it would have been Austin Aries? What if it would have been Tommaso Ciampa? I mean, you put those guys in there. We know the history of these guys in our city, how they've come up from our city and, you know, made it to the, you know, the national stage. I don't care what face you put in there. You can put in John Cena. You can put in The Rock. We're rooting for our guy.
Yeah. Page picking up the win here, but the real story was the interaction between Adam Cole, who left the commentary table, although he was interrupted by not Sling Blade. Now that would make
wait. Yeah, French fried taters. Yeah, get a little ketchup there and some mustard. Yep.
Here's the thing: you got enough Ring of Honor, enough New Japan talent. Let's see Billy Bob Thornton wrestle come Sunday.
Should have done that. He's just a boy, poor little feller.
give us something for everybody. But it was not Sling Blade. It was Switchblade Jay White that interrupts Cole. And in Meathead, I'm still kind of trying to piece together where all of this is going. It looked like it was potentially a triple threat at one point. Not going to be that. Switchblade tells Adam Cole he's not going to wrestle him because he got beat by Page. Then he tells Page he's not going to wrestle him. And then we get music that how quick did you pop when you heard this music, Meathead?
I didn't. I had to look at the video board because, again, folks, I don't know New Japan Pro Wrestling theme songs. And I'm like, this is probably going to be Okada because I went to dirtysheets.com and I know that Okada's going to be in the Page, you know, Adam Cole, Jay White realm. So as much as I'm excited to see these guys that I'm told, doing air quotes, told that are these big stars, I have no clue who the hell these people are.
Hey, aren't you behind a wheel? Don't do air quotes.
Well, I can air quote all I want.
So here's what I saw on TV and my perception, you know, see if it matches up with the audience. Hey, we got to be getting a tag match at this point. I mean, wasn't that kind of what you were left at?
That's how it felt, again, not being able to hear commentary. It felt like it's going to be Adam Page and Okada taking on, fried taters, Jay White and Adam Cole, baby. I tell you what, though, you know, again, we talk about pops, you know, all the New Japan Pro Wrestling pops that happen. They pop huge for the number one theme song in AEW right now.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Adam Cole, baby.
No doubt. And I mean, here's the thing. I think that's why Cole ends up on commentary a lot. I mean, he's good on commentary, but you got to have a reason to play that theme song, man, and get him out there.
Exactly.
And they know what they're doing. This last match that we recapped is a really good example to kind of drive home this point. What it felt to me last night, you know, as opposed to a go-home show where you're trying to sell the pay-per-view based on these feuds and based on these storylines, what last night felt like to me, Meathead, was basically the last week or so, or maybe the last 2 weeks before like a high school homecoming or a prom or maybe even a middle school dance where everybody's just kind of trying to round up somebody to go to the dance with. And the dance we're talking about is Forbidden Door, because a lot of these stories don't have backgrounds. A lot of these people with casual viewers unfamiliar with, it seems like everybody's just trying to find a dance partner for Sunday.
That's exactly it. And it's, trying to match it up. Hey, I want to match at Forbidden Door. Who's left?
Let me ask you this. We're going now. I guess we're a little ways past prom season. You think that's ever been a theme for like a prom? I think ours was like Moonlight Mystique or something. You think there are any schools out there?
I've never gone to prom or homecoming.
But I think, if there are any school administrators here, listening, maybe that's something you do next year, right? Maybe.
Well, wait, are you saying that the man they call Meathead for year 50 finally gets to go to prom?
I don't think it's legal, man.
Well, if I haven't graduated high school, what's to say I can't go back? I'd be like Adam Sandler and Billy Madison.
Is that a new campaign that we do? Maybe next prom season, take Meathead to prom.
Yeah, take Meathead to prom. Yeah, that'll happen. All right, moving on.
Moving on, we did have some women's action last night. Marina Shafir going up against Toni Storm. Bit of a feud that's been building across several AEW platforms in the last several weeks. Toni Storm picking up the win here, attacked by Nyla Rose at the very end. Thunder Rosa comes in to save the day to set us up for Toni Storm and Thunder Rosa at Forbidden Door.
Well, Toni Storm touched the belt again, so that means Britt Baker's got to have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. She's not the champion. Here's the problem. Let me take the word problem out, right? Because Marina Shafir is the problem. That's actually her nickname. Toni Storm still looks to me like a WWE sports entertainer.
Yeah.
Okay. When we get Thunder Rosa, that's a professional wrestler, and she looks amazing. And I'm invested in Thunder Rosa. The problem is that I'm not invested in Toni Storm. Yes, I know Toni Storm just got an amazing victory over Britt Baker, DMD, clean. What was it, last week on Rampage, or was it on Dynamite? But she got a clean victory. So now I know that Toni Storm is this hot new challenger, but Thunder Rosa is the professional wrestler. There should be no reason the sports entertainer should be the professional wrestler.
And where AEW does a lot of slow build with a lot of storylines across the platforms, I don't feel like they do that with the women's division. It's a little bit more of a WWE mindset of ready
they got a smaller roster when it comes to the women's.
Yeah. No, and you look at, we had some backstage promos, but you got a 2-hour show, man, and you get one women's match. There is still AEW's made some leaps and bounds in the women's division, but when you look at percentage of actual in-ring matches, man, it is still a small percentage compared to everything else. Our closing segment on the Go Home show, Chris Jericho, Lance Archer going up against Jon Moxley and oh my goodness, Tanahashi, who are going to meet on Sunday. And we had Moxley and Tanahashi going over. Tanahashi getting the pin on Archer to finish the show. And then, as we alluded to in the beginning of the show, Moxley and
Wait, they're back in the ring again. It just happened. They're back standing in the ring again.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Forbidden Door is going to be interesting, man. I think there is, for somebody who can watch a show and appreciate great professional wrestling, I think you're going to get a ton of that. It's not a traditional AEW pay-per-view offering. This is the brand that has done these slow burn feuds well for so long, that has invested people in these storylines. We're getting something different going into Sunday.
So let me preface this by saying that I enjoyed my night at AEW. Okay. However, and again, this has been a point that I brought up a few times, and unfortunately, Matthew, we both agree on this. I've always wanted us to maybe disagree on some stuff so that way, we can have differing opinions. I'm not invested in a ton of these New Japan Pro Wrestling talents because I don't know who they are. Now, when I started watching AEW, my first initial AEW was the first night of Dynamite.
Yeah.
Okay? It took me a while to continue to watch, continue to get invested in the talents that are there. I didn't know who Kenny Omega was. Again, I don't read DirtySheets.com like Matthew does. But now I know who these people are. I didn't know who the Young Bucks were. I mean, yes, I read about them on the internet. There's supposed to be these great things. If I were to continue to get these New Japan Pro Wrestling guys on here, I'd probably really enjoy them. Okay? I really enjoyed my show last night. However, what they did last night did not make me want to push the buy button.
And you bring up a good point too, Meathead. When you were watching AEW, you were getting used to these people because these were the people you were going to see week after week. I think.
Right.
Yeah. Here's the thing with the build for Forbidden Door. It's not just the lack of familiarity with it. It's you're familiarizing yourself basically for one pay-per-view. Now, whether some of these people sticks around, what happens with the interim AEW
what if title? Tanahashi wins?
Yeah. You might have it on Tanahashi, but it's just it's a different type of show. And we'll see what happens. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on over the weekend, man. We might even have a Stanley Cup final game on Sunday if the Avs can't clinch it on Friday. So
does that mean they're going to stretch out the pay-per-view again?
You know what? That might actually be. Maybe I should. What all the cool kids say? Slip up into Tony Khan's DMs. Maybe I slip up into his
slide into Tony's DM.
Maybe I'll have to slide into Tony Khan and say, hey, you know what? It would work best for my viewing schedule if you just delay this pay-per-view until after after game 6, if necessary, is complete. So good idea. I'll get to work
Matthew,
on that.
Let me ask you this. We joked obviously about the Moxley and Tanahashi staring each other down in the ring, and how long that took and how they were looking levelly into each other's eyes. What did you think about the pull parts that happened all around the ring?
There was a lot of action there, but I'm going to echo a similar theme to this show. I didn't know who half the guys were.
Okay. That's why I wanted to ask, because I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, from Rampage. But if it's pull apart you like, well, maybe there'll be pull aparts.
Yeah. You know what I'd really like to see Meathead in Rampage? I kind of like to see them do a Halloween 1 and 2, where Halloween Part 2 took place immediately after Halloween Part 1. Just do that with Rampage. Have Rampage start off with Tanahashi and Moxley staring in the middle of the ring, and like an additional, just more pull aparts. And just give me just a straight continuation. I think that's what I'm hoping to get with Rampage.
Okay. Well, then that is it. Any other questions from me on the experience? Again, unfortunately, we didn't get to hear from Linda Kay. Linda Kay's sister was in attendance with us as well. What a great show. Again, we're very spoiled to be able to just walk up, hand tickets, show IDs, walk right to the concessions, walk right to the seats, and nobody sitting around. I mean, it was how did the building look, by the way? When I say nobody sitting around us, we were in an area that was kind of off to the side. How did it look on television?
Good. I mean, it looked. It looked well lit. It looked full. It was a nice looking arena. It wasn't distracting. I mean, there was nothing in the crowd that I was necessarily distracted by. Now, I do have a question for you. Restrooms, men's restroom. Was there a trough?
No, this isn't Chicago, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So you couldn't have the communal bonding urinating experience. I like to get from my professional wrestling shows. How about the concessions, man? Do you have any food?
No, I drink. I'm from Milwaukee, sir.
I was gonna say, though, you're a big pretzel guy. I pegged you
pretzel guy
for maybe getting one of those pretzels with some are you more of a cheese sauce or mustard kind of guy?
Yes. Milwaukee Pretzel Company.
a cup of mustard and a cup of cheese.
You take the wax paper, you open up the pretzel, and then you put all the dippings all around the pretzel, and you just dip in different sections.
Fantastic.
I've also done cream cheese on the pretzel. I've done mustard on a pretzel, honey mustard, cheddar cheese. I mean, whatever you want, whatever floats your boat.
You know what I think would be really good on a pretzel, Meathead, is stuffing. Stuffing goes good with everything. It would go great on a pretzel. You know what? That's going to be our mission between now and tomorrow. We're going to see if we can get a good pretzel sponsor. So we will definitely get the interns back on that. And
Milwaukee Pretzel Company, I know you're listening.
Hopefully when we talk to you tomorrow, we're going to be brought to you by Collar and Elbow and a good solid pretzel company. Well, that has been a fun-filled, action-packed man on. Wait a minute, I was going to say man on the street, but man in the arena. Man in the arena. Okay, I'm going to work out those acronyms later. We'll have that for you by tomorrow's show. But for the man they call Meathead on location, for Linda Kay on location, for Matthew Thomas in location in his personal PWR Today studios. Until next time, we'll talk to you tomorrow.